Today, Patricia, you're still there?
I am, yeah.
The other consideration is, of course, that you had a full sort of week's shop there with 3 bottles of Cote Tyrone.
Exactly, yeah. It wasn't me buying a load of naggins and, some junk food or, it was a grown-up shop, let's call it. So...
Would you not look at my basket there or my trolley? It's a grown-up shop there. It's a grown-up shop, yeah.
The other thing is, I used to be a grocery checkout manager, so I understand how the job works.
Yeah.
I didn't work in Tesco's, but we were.
Did you say that when you were talking to the manager?
I didn't know.
No.
You always think of these things afterwards.
Yes, yeah.
So, but it was just a pure lack of tact and skill on the manager's part and the staff. That really annoyed me.
Exact same thing happened to me in Tesco, Jervis Street, 5 years ago. I was 30 at the time and remarkably had both my passport and driving licence with me. I was told only Garda ID would suffice, says Martha, and I had similar experience in the Wilton Tesco's, and it has only ever happened to me in Cork, where me or any of my friends who are between 22 and 25 have had issues with ID. If I was asked for a passport or guard ID, like that woman in Tesco's, I would ask that person to show me their ID to see if they actually carry one themselves. Well,
yeah, that's the thing. We're not obliged to carry, identity in this country. We don't have, an identity card or. And
your passport is so important to you.
Exactly.
I wouldn't carry it around with me because it's just, what if you lose it?
Yeah.
Tesco have a policy that puts the onus back on the staff, and that if anyone underage gets served alcohol, they get reprimanded, says Joe in Arklow, and that happened to me in Duns in Douglas, but the manager sorted it out. I was there with my own daughter when I was refused. That woman should have stayed put and refused to move, holding up the queue until a higher manager or the guards arrived, says Noel.
That did occur to me, but I just thought I don't think I could handle that. I was just shaking too much at that stage with anger. I just thought I better get out of here before I lose it.
It's idiotic, thick customer service who are on a power trip. They are untrained monkeys, says that person. It's very unprofessional, stupid excuse from Tesco, as thick as their employees, they say. Driving licences are not easy to copy. You'd have to be pretty thick not to notice a fake. Driving licence should be valid ID everywhere, says that person. And I worked in an off licence in Dublin. There's no doubt their customer service was bad, but there's two sides to the story. Technically, a driving licence will not hold up in court as a form of identification. It is solely to be used to show that you are qualified to drive. That's it, because a judge has rejected it as a form of ID in court already. We're trained to ask people who look under 25 for ID, but you have to apply common sense to each situation. You see, I don't understand the way a lot of these people work. It was like we were flying down to Cork or something like that, and Mairead had a passport which was a couple of days out of, past its sell-by date or whatever the term is, and the girl wouldn't let her board an internal flight.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
But she accepted an ID card for Jackie Skelly Jim. I don't get that. It doesn't make sense.
It's the training for these people. It's not their fault if they're told that if they deviate at all, they'll be reprimanded. So
and they fear the repercussions of selling alcohol to an underage person.
Yeah, like Tesco are one of the biggest retailers, and they're just trying to bully both their staff and then people into following their rules.
Yeah. Sorry we couldn't get a more satisfactory response from Tesco.
Oh, I expected as much, to be honest.
But I suppose for the future, it looks like the acceptance of driver's licence as a form of ID in Tesco stores is imminent. So there.
Until I'm sure that's the case, I don't think I'll be doing my shopping there.
Patricia, good talking to you this morning.
Thanks very much, Ray.
Morning, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
3-400-102 for your text. You can send us emails to ray@todayfm.com. The phone number is 1850 715 100. Patricia was asked for ID in Tesco and Wilton in Cork. She had a driver's licence, but that wasn't accepted, so she eventually left her shopping there and went off and shopped elsewhere where she was served alcohol. The same happened to my daughter in Aldi in Clane. The manager refused to serve her alcohol. She was 25 at the time. She was able to produce her passport, but he would only accept the national ID, which she doesn't have. And I'm a guard stationed in Dublin. Tesco is a joke. If they can take time to think 21 training, or take 21 training, they can take the time to learn how to tell if a licence is fake. There's only a few telltale signs, says that member of An Garda Síochána. Come on, who goes around with their passport in their pocket? I mean, I'm 33. I'm not going for a bloody Garda ID, says Elaine. I am an Irish citizen in Ireland, so why in feck's name would I carry my passport with me to go to Tesco? They will soon have a passport check at the door to make sure you're an EU citizen before you shop there, says Alan with his tongue in his cheek. What sort of 17-year-old is going to spend 50 to 100 euro on groceries in order to get 3 bottles of wine? Is there no common sense knocking about anymore? There seems to be a lack of flexibility, I think. And I suppose flexibility comes with common sense. When you go through the self-scan with alcohol, the assistant presses a button on the screen that says the customer clearly looks over 25. Bit of an insult, says Richie from Selbridge. And I'm a guard and have been for the past 10 years. I tried to buy wine plus groceries in Dunnes stores and I had no ID with me except my official guard ID badge, which doesn't have a date of birth on it. I reluctantly used it when asked for ID. The girl refused to sell me the bottle of wine, stating that my ID was false because it had no date of birth, and also it wasn't a recommended form of ID. She was right there, but you would have to be over 18 to be a member of An Garda Síochána, wouldn't you? Yeah, definitely. I asked to speak to a manager whom I knew from dealing with shoplifters who told her to sell me the wine. I was 27 at the time. So Tesco couldn't be arsed to even apologise to Patricia or even make a false promise to investigate the incident. What arrogance, says Colin and Lucan. And I got asked for ID in Tesco buying a Tommy Tiernan DVD. I'm 22. How embarrassing was that? That's Kevin in Roscommon. And thank you for bringing this up. I have had some long battles with Tesco's over the years. I once refused to leave till I was allowed to pay for alcohol. The guards accepted this as ID. Why not the biggest retail outlet in Ireland? So annoying. Oh yeah, the guards accept a driver's licence as ID. Why not Tesco's? And we were on to, I think Patricia said this at the beginning of our little chat, citizensinformation.ie, licence holders that allow people, these are people who sell alcohol, that allow people between 18 and 21 years on their premises without appropriate identification can face a fine of €1,500 for a first offence and €2,000 for any subsequent offences. And it goes on to say, this is the citizensinformation.ie, it's a government website. Appropriate identification includes a national age card, a passport, a driving licence, or an identity card issued by any EU member state. I'm opening a business bank account and they accept a driver's licence, so who the hell do Tesco think they are? I'm now boycotting them in support of that caller, says John in Cork. My wife was asked for ID in Tesco. She's 39. She was so happy, says Brian. And I'd done a full trolley shop and couldn't buy the wine because it was 2 minutes past 10 p.m. Tesco again. And listening to Patricia and the text-free customer service or lack thereof, it's classic nanny state symptom. So many people are brainwashed by company training that they can't think for themselves. It's a classic Little Britain sketch. Computer says no. Muppets, the lot of them. Says that person. I suppose, you know, when you're getting it from both sides, as an employee of Tesco or some other chain, that you're getting it from the customer and you're getting it from your manager saying that if you let one person through under 18 and sell alcohol to them, and this is the way you have to do it, it has to be a passport or a guard ID, that's the only thing you can accept, it's the only thing you accept. So you become computer-like, don't you? And you're not going to employ any sort of common sense or flexibility. How about being ID'd buying lighter at 29? I was at a petrol station and in the end I had to say, regardless of whether I'm 16 or 29, I do not need ID to buy a lighter. Maybe they were just having a laugh at me, says Pam. And I got asked for ID in Asda in Enniskillen when buying champagne. I'm 35. Happy days, says Tina. See, I said that to Patricia, that, you know, was not a compliment, that they thought you were under 18 when you were 27. She didn't think it was. I think Tesco are funny cookies, and sometimes the employees in the checkout aren't the sharpest pencils in the tin. Once in Tesco in Limerick, they asked my young sister for her ID when she was buying a bottle of bleach. We laughed as we tried to explain her it was bleach and not alcohol. It didn't matter, she had to show her ID. Anyway, a national ID card would solve this type of matters. Regards, Ray.